And seriously, I don't really have much ingredients. This is all that's kind of in the fridge. And there's some herbs and just bits and pieces, really. It's whatever you have. This is not a recipe. This is what was in my fridge. And there's some radishes, carrots, cucumber, random stuff. We're all just kind of hanging out here today.
I wash my hands first.
You wash your hands. I need to get a bowl. This is what it's like here. It's a working kitchen. I need to get a bowl. All right, you put all that in there. I'm just going to start with the dressing. You do that, and I'm going to start with the dressing. A little whisk. Just going to make a balanced situation here. Balanced situation to me means the sourness and the sweetness and a bit of savouriness in a dressing is kind of my thing, and you want that fat in there as well. So I've got some French mustard. Yum, that smells so good. Smell that. What is that? Oh. This was random. It was in the fridge for ages, this mustard, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's still good. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna put some mustard in there. Don't forget I gotta put that in the fridge. And then I'm gonna put like, I don't know, like a tablespoon of vinegar. But don't ask me for the recipe because I'm just making this up because we're all hungry in here and this is what we've got. I think I'm gonna do like a tablespoon of olive oil. And I mean that with great care. It's like I've got really no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. And then I want that maple syrup as the sweetener. It's about a tablespoon. So it's kind of like an even tablespoon of those ingredients. And I've got that turmeric there, right? I want to put a little bit of turmeric in here because I have some fresh turmeric, and fresh turmeric's really amazing. A lot of people don't use it and it's easy to grow. So look into that. Don't want a lot of it. Just want like maybe half a teaspoon of grated turmeric. You can use fresh. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just, and the color is so delicious. Color of this is like unbelievable. It's like God had a plan and it stains everything. Actually, let's just shove that there. All right, you keep going with that, Lasmi. Maybe we should chop that. Do you want to chop that up? You can use my chopping board. So I'm just mixing this. Tasting first to see where we're at. Oh, that's a bit clever. A little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Okay, I need a little bit of water in that just to balance it out. What I mean by that, it's not enough dressing, but I don't want to put any more oil in it. So just a couple of tablespoons of oil. So it kind of works out like a tablespoon of mustard, tablespoon of maple, tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and a tablespoon of olive oil, and about half a teaspoon of grated turmeric. Now here, am I making a recipe up? That's bloody delicious. Okay. Delicious. I need a knife. I got this new knife given to me the other day by Ironclad Pans. Have you heard of them? All my pans, have a look over here. All my pans are from Ironclad. Ironclad's a company in New Zealand. Amazing. I'll put the link in the description. And this is one of them. And here's another one. And they just hang beautifully on my shelf. And they gave me this really cool knife. And I thought, oh, that's so nice. So nice. I'm not going to peel my carrots. They've already been washed. They're organic, yeah?
Yeah.
Good job, mate. Instead of cutting like one slice at a time, I've lined it all up to cut as much as I can, and I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to chuck it in Lasmi's bowl with all this other stuff, the random stuff that we have. Got some cucumber. Actually, I want to peel that. The other day I had some peeled cucumber and it was amazing. So I just want to peel just a little bit of that off. Okay, lunch will be ready soon. just want to scoop some of those seeds out as well. And then we'll slice this up. Randomest salad on the planet. It's probably going to taste brilliant.
Like this?
Yeah, perfect. Louise's just cutting up the beans into little isms because there's nothing kind of worse than raw beans, right? Okay, so that's into there. And what else have we got here? We've got some capsicum. Let's just take half a cheek of that. It's kind of like a chopping race, and just into little squares. Basically anything that works. Anything that you feel that works for you. Oh, this is a good avocado, isn't it? Look at the size of that. Is it going to be okay, I wonder? Oh yeah, perfect. Wow. Okay. We all eat very differently in the studio. Colin behind the camera doesn't really like vegetables. Wira does. He doesn't mind. We're all really different. This is the kind of food that I like to eat. Okay, and now I want some feta cheese. No, I actually don't want feta cheese now. No, I don't want feta cheese now. Okay, you're going to keep doing that. Yeah. I do want some orange. I don't want the feta. Isn't it interesting how you change your mind? This is what food is all about, okay? So, I definitely want some of this mandarin in there because I think that would be super cool. Okay, just gonna chop it like this.
Smells fresh.
Smells good, eh? No, I'm glad I'm not using the feta now, actually, because it doesn't really suit the salad. Okay, the random quinoa from last night's curry. Salt and pepper first, really important. And a big handful of this. Actually, I might just use all of it, yeah? And then I'm gonna, well done with the radish. Yep. I'm gonna pour this all over it. Yum. Get it nice mix. You wanna mix that, Lus?
Mm-hmm. Put the radish here?
Yeah, pop the radish there. I'll get a nice platter from somewhere. My girlfriend Simone got this for me in Morocco and I love it. And it's huge. Yum, with the fruit, yeah?
Mm-hmm. With the orange.
Oh, yum. No, that's really good. Just needs a bit more salt, right?
Good.
A little bit more pepper. Mm. That's nice, hey? The feta's not good in there, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Fine with
Delicious. Fresh and tasty, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to scatter this all over this plate. Lastly, I'm going to put my amazing crunchy chickpeas for that crunch.
Yum.
Yum, hey?
Woohoo.
There we go. That is one way to use up all those random things in your kitchen. Do you kind of think, oh, what am I going to do with all that? That's what you can do with all that. Roasted chickpeas. They're very crunchy. Have a look at my YouTube channel. Yum, they're really good. And that's it. Okay, see ya. Really crunchy. What a really easy way to use up those vegetables, hey?
Yep. Very lovely.
Oh my God, only 2. You know when you go to the supermarket and you see coconuts like that? All of my friends just freak out. They're like, how do you get into it? What's in there? What do you use? How do you know if it's okay? Is it off? Why is it white? All these things come to mind. You know, these are from Thailand, Indonesia. That's where they mostly come from. In my country, Australia, that's where we get them from. And they line up in the you know, the produce section of a supermarket. And this is one way to use these in this glorious soup that I just love, that's so light and tasty. And it doesn't require any cooking. And it's a wonderful way of getting some really great fats into our body. So there's a little trick here to open up this coconut. Let me show you. Don't be alarmed, don't freak out. Because when you see this, people are like, oh my God, I don't have one of those. If you don't have one of those and you have a knife, you're gonna use this part of your knife. Okay, you're not gonna use all of it. You're just gonna use, it's called the heel of your knife. All right, you're gonna create a little nest. Stick this in the nest so it holds nice and well. Then you're gonna take this area of your knife. Don't have your fingers on here. Put your fingers behind your back and just go really hard into that area. And you're making a square. Take your time with it, you know? And when you've made the square, you can lever up. See that? Oh my God. And how do I know this is good? Well, it's nice and thick. It smells epic. I need to drink some of that water. Where's a straw? So I can see if the water has gone rancid or not, which it hasn't because I can smell it from here. Oh my God, it's delicious. Oh my God, come and taste this water, mate. Come and taste this water.
Coming in.
You're coming in. Do you remember we used to buy these all the time? In Australia, like this is our thing. Okay, don't drink it all. Okay, stop. Okay. It's good, huh? It's really good. And I know it's good because look, there's no slime, it's rich, it's white, it's not all, you know, it smells like coconut, it doesn't smell kind of off. There's a really good sense of strength with coconut with that, do you know what I mean? Like that's really important. It's not slimy, so when I'm touching like here, it's kind of hard, you know, the water's sweet. I can smell it, smells good. So that's what you're looking for. And it's really intimidating sometimes, but trust me, nature has a plan. Sometimes I bought 12 of them and 4 of them are off. That's God's plan. You just gotta live in the let go. And sometimes I buy 12 of them and every single one is freaking epic. So it's just one of those things. So you're gonna take the water and you're gonna put it in here, and you must strain it because as I've chopped it with that cleaver, some of the hard shell might have gone into that water and it'll break your teeth. So just remember that, you need to strain it. So you can just, I don't know whether you can see that, I'm just sliding the spoon onto the flesh and I'm just turning the coconut. I can feel the spoon hitting the actual base of the coconut. I'm just turning the coconut around and the spoon is collecting the flesh. A lot of people say to me, oh, why don't you just open it up and cut it in half? Well, it takes a lot to cut in half. Anyway, and then you want to get all that flesh out. Like a little bit of work, okay? That's most of it out. And you can see all these bits on there. They're not hard. They're just soft. We want that. Then you'll see a bit of shell like this, which is really hard. So you want to be super mindful, okay? When you're going through this, you're just going to pick it up, look at it, bless it, and then we're going to wash it. You can see in here all the little bits and pieces outside of the white stuff. Can you see that, Wira? Yeah. Cool. We don't want any of that in our soup. Okay, this is going to go straight into the blender along with our cashews, raw cashews. I want a little bit of lemongrass, but you'll notice with lemongrass, and this is important, this is the stalk of the lemongrass, the roots are underneath. Up here comes the leaves. This is very fibrous, extremely fibrous. Down here, it's more softer and less fibrous. We want that area. The strongest potency of lemongrass is actually down here. Cutting it in half, and I'll show you what's in the center. And you want to get out the stuff because it's not fibrous. You want about a tablespoon of that. And then I want some cucumber, and I don't want the seeds in the cucumber at all. Why? Because I just don't want them in there. That's the only reason really. What you can do with this is you can take it over here, some salt and pepper on the seeds, like this, and have a wee snack. Yum. Like really yum. Good tipper. Cucumber is into here. Okay, I want a little bit of ginger. Start with a little bit, half a teaspoon, yeah? Straight into there. One thing about limes in Indonesia, watch this, are you ready? Seeds. Don't get that in Australia, do we? Have you ever seen a lime with seeds in it?
No, they say it's a miracle, but it's not. It just means that it's like been bred without seeds, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seeds are glorious.
Seeds are the God's gift to man.
It means it's going to reproduce, right?
Exactly, and without seeds, we don't have food. And without food, we die. Right, Weira?
Seeds is where it's at.
Seeds is where it's at. You want a little bit of fresh chili flakes, optional, up to you. I do, I want a little bit of heat. I just put like a quarter of a teaspoon in, like tiny. Around about a cup of water. Just depending too, because the cashews in some countries are super rich and creamy and you might have to add water. So a recipe is a guide. Your heart and your vibration start to look inside that and you think, oh, I need more water than that recipe. Doesn't mean the recipe is wrong. It just means you've got to dance with nature. And it's very important that we remember that because we pick on things and we blame. And I think that spoils the whole method of making this. So I put in about a cup. I'm going to blend it. If it's too thick because of the cashews, I'm going to add a little bit more water. I've got the acid from the lime in there. I've got the sweetness of the coconut flesh. I've got the chili for the spice. I've got the cucumber to just mellow things out, you know, because cucumber has a high water content. It's wonderful, wonderful ingredient because it's a neutral flavor, but it has a little bit of, you know, taste to it, especially when it's mixed with this. We want salt and pepper, building blocks of flavor. Super, super important. It's not over yet. I just want to have a look at it. This is a perfect time to taste this. What am I looking for? Number one, I'm looking for the right amount of salt. Great. I can taste the cucumber, I can taste all the things. It's very gritty, so I need to blend it more. It needs a bit more salt. Geez, that lime's beautiful in there. It's stunning. A bit more pepper. Oh, the sweetness of that coconut water. And blend again, and I want this to be so creamy and so smooth that when I taste it again, I can't feel any kind of sandy bits from the nuts. Creaminess is what we're after. We're not after any of that grit. Just remember that. That was a bit loud. Just remember that. Oh, okay. Just set that aside. And then I'm thinking about toppings, right? I'm thinking about what I would like to have. I would like some sprouts on there. I definitely want some avocado. And lastly, I have a little bit of chili oil. Just a homemade job. I just want to put a little few drops. It's a super soup. It is a super soup. It's stunning. I want this to be really icy cold. I want probably, you know, you make it and you decide, do I need more ginger? Do I want my heat? Like, do I want heat in there from the chili? Do I need more zing from the lime? Like, you make it happen. You build it. I have full faith in you creating this to your beautiful, amazing palate. You know, like I'm thinking different gingers would be really good, like galangal ginger and garden ginger. I'm thinking like even kaffir lime leaf, if you've got a tree out the back of a kaffir lime, put it in there. That's one thing that I really honor is like when you have a garden and if you can stand in your garden and have a look around and there's nothing edible, I would totally encourage you to plant things that you can eat. See you next time. I'm going to use these, but as long as you're using some sort of king brown, some, you know, lion's mane powder and some reishi powder, then you're going to have some button mushrooms and portobellos that we all find in the supermarket. But look what I found today. The shimishi, I don't even know how to say that. I mean, how cool is that? And then I've got some evoki mushrooms, which I find very potent and very flavoursome. I'm salivating when thinking about these. These are stunning and they're everywhere. I've used to use half a container of each one. I've got some amazing fresh shiitake mushrooms, some king browns, and these are quite small. I have seen them in the supermarket this big. If they're like this big, use one or maybe two, but these are quite little, you know, they're the size of that, really. And then I've got some button ones, which could be portobello, you know, or even oyster mushrooms. So making this soup, I want you to feel super relaxed and super observant of what's in your supermarket. Not to really run out there to a health food store to find the powder of reishi and lion's mane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop everything up. I'm using garlic, I'm using a leek, and I'm using half a leek, which I sliced down the middle, and I'll use the other half for something later. I'm also going to use garlic powder, and there's a reason why I'm doing that. I'm using fresh garlic and garlic powder because the two energies have this abundance of flavour that comes through. The garlic powder is quite concentrated because it's dried and it's just yummy, and fresh garlic has a little bit of a bite to it. So using those fresh energies is really cool. And what we're going to do is we're going to slice this up right to the green parts, everybody. This is the chlorophyll. This is where that onion smell is as well. We're going to slice it all up, make sure you wash it in between all the bits. Now we really don't want anything to brown here as this is cooking. You know, the leek and the garlic just need to be like simmering and, is it wallowing? I don't know what the word is, but we need the natural sugars of these beautiful, amazing moments to come out of this leek and this garlic. And as this breaks down, you'll see the difference. And that's when I'm going to add in my mushroom powders and the rest of my beautiful fresh mushrooms, which we're going to chop up roughly. Some garlic powder and some coriander. And do you know what coriander powder does? My friend Mado taught me this. It makes things meaty. Seriously, like brothy. It's so bizarre. It just gives a lot of depth to it. This is when we add in our garlic powder and now our coriander powder and then our reishi mushroom powder and our lion's mane. Give this a really good mix. Those powders are in there. Oh my God, it smells amazing. And now this is when you add the mushrooms. These mushrooms are going to create quite a lot of moisture because they're a fungi, right? Fungi hold quite a lot of moisture and we want all that moisture to come out and we want this to cook down before we add our stock and our coconut milk. This is the time where you get to salt and pepper. Give this a really good stir. Your heat's on around about medium heat, all right? Don't have it too high. And what we want these mushrooms to do is release their natural liquid, and all the different mushrooms create a really beautiful flavour. So I'm just going to stand by here and I'm just going to watch things kind of mellow. All right, you can see how it's really mellowed out now. And all that liquid has just made it super creamy and super lush. This is the time we add in our coconut milk. Give that a nice stir, add in your stock and then, or water, and then leave the lid on a gentle simmer for about 20 minutes. Now low simmer, like I said, really important, about 20 minutes. So our soup has been 20 minutes on that simmer with the lid on. I've stirred it a couple of times and tasted it, I couldn't help myself. And then it's rested for 20 minutes. Vital, everybody. The reason being is that kind of like when you cook animals, steaks, cows, pigs, lambs, whatever, you let it rest. Us chefs let things rest. And that what happens is everything just relaxes, right? And flavor just kind of goes through and residual heat just does its thing. It's the same with vegetables. We have to honor that and let them rest and give them an opportunity to mellow into each other, to just kind of like go, oh yeah, this is great. All right, we're gonna blend it and then eat it. Be mindful when you're doing this. This is why the resting process is double important, because the bloody thing's hot, right? So just be mindful as you're doing this, because it can get super hot. I'm using a Vitamix, which I love. I know my girlfriend Dana's gonna come over later and she's gonna say to me, oh, I want it all chunky. Do what you will. And my other girlfriend will go, I want it really super smooth and creamy. I want more cream. Do what you will. For me, I'm gonna blend until I feel like stopping. So it's really up to you. When it comes to hot food in a blender, and I've said this 1,000 million times in my videos, just be careful, because if you put something on there, it'll just explode because of the temperature. So just be mindful. I always get my tamper and I always kind of just sit it like this so the airflow can go in, and I start off low and then build my way up to a really high speed. You know why I do this? All chefs do it. It makes a bit of noise. It's to get the air bubbles out. Okay, let's pour. Yum. It is delicious. It's really good. It is thick, and I'm okay with that. But oh my God, it smells amazing. Oh yeah, that is exceptional. I'll let you know when my third book comes out.